Hey everyone. One of the things that's necessary for me to do all my what if scenarios and all is to have the realism setting on my equipment turned up as high as possible, whether it's a truck, airplane, or whatever. Try to keep any assists off and that sort of thing, make it as real as possible so that it truly is sort of a what if test as far as the simulation goes, anyway. So one of the things I did was within my budget, got myself a G29 wheel so I could get a shifter as well with that. And so try and get a little more realism in truck shifting, gear shifting, that sort of thing, try floating gears, all that stuff. Anyway, when I was setting it up, it took a little bit of research and digging, and basically had to find information from a number of sources to try and get it to work at least as well as it does. And so anyway, I thought if I could short track the path for someone to try and set up something like this, then it might be helpful. That's great. So here's how I have my shifting setup done for my two truck simulating programs, and hope this helps. Thanks. Here we are in Euro Truck Simulator 2, and I'm in my Volvo, and all the trucks that I've seen in the Euro Truck Simulator are 12-speed, so that makes the setup a little bit easier than American Truck Simulator, which we'll cover next. Anyway, we've got the standard shifter that comes with the G29. And on the G29, I have set up on the left hand the two buttons called L2 and L3. I have the button L2 set up as in Euro Truck Simulator. It's like a range button, and that's the only extra button we need besides the shifter. So, real easy demonstration. If we start the truck. Okay, right now we're in neutral. So if we put the shifter into first, we get first. Second is second. Third is third. Up through sixth gear. Now obviously the shifter is going to run out of gears. So when we take it out of sixth, put it into the neutral area, hit the L2. It then first now becomes 7. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's pretty simple just to sequence up and down then. And if we want to jump back from 12th, say to 6th for some reason, we'd have to go to neutral, hit our L2, and then just put it right back in the 6th gear position. Anyway, go to first. Make sure we can still move. There we go. So these are the settings I have for this shifter setup in Euro Truck Simulator. The transmission is set up as H shifter. And if we go down to the H shifter settings, the shifter layout is range. So basically our button does a high-low range. And we're on advanced shifter layout, shifter fast split, clutch or throttle, so that way we can float gears if we need to or want to, whatever. And down at the bottom is shifter toggle 1 and toggle 2, which are the blue L2, L3 buttons that are set up for ranges. The L3 doesn't come into play in Euro Truck Simulator 2, but it will on American Truck Simulator. Here we are in American Truck Simulator. That's my Peterbilt there. And if we go to the options, controls, it looks pretty well like the same setup as on Euro Truck Simulator. Set up for an H shifter. And on the layout, it's range splitter with advanced shifter behavior, clutch or throttle for shifter fast split, and at the bottom of the shifter positions, we've got the shifter toggle 1 and 2, which are the two buttons, the L2 and L3, which are used for splitter and range. Okay, here we are in the Peterbilt, and let's start this thing up. Now the setup that I've got here, the Peterbilt is an 18-speed, and so I use more gear positions. When I'm driving a truck as just a hired driver and it's a 13-speed or something, everything works exactly the same. It's just I have less gears to go to in the higher range. Anyway, I'm in neutral right now, and I put it in the first position on my shifter, and it goes to first. And I'll just shift up through the sequence, the shifter sequence. Okay, so we get, you saw 9, but we technically have 10, because if we go back into first, use the L2 button, which is the splitter, we've got 1 and 2. Shift up, we've got 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Okay, that gets us up to 10th. Now we need to go to 11th maybe. So we pull the shifter back into the neutral position. This time hit the L3. And if we want, the L2 to split down to the lower of the 2 gears. Go into the first gear position, and now we're into 11th. We just hit the splitter, we can go to 12. Shift up is either 14, or we can split it to 13. 15, 16, and 17, 18. So we really only have to use the range the one time. So I've just hit it, and we're back into 1, 2. So the L2 button does the 1, 2, and the 3, 4, etc. Go to neutral, hit the L3 for go up into the high range, and now first gear becomes 11 and 12. And let's make sure that the gears work. There we go.